dismissed every accomplishment I've made. You've talked about my father. Well, you call me an entitled millennial, I call you a carny succubus, because the dirty secret about you, the dirty secret is you need this generation more than it needs you.
What up, y'all? It's KMB, the Sexy Ninja, and the place to be for our Paper Saber universe, and this is the New World Podcast. Brother, we're talking about NXT, January 14th, 2025. Vic Booker and no Corey Graves on commentary due to a tweet. I hate using the word controversy. I just think he just let himself speak, as you know, no one's not telling him not to. Well, maybe they are because he's not on this show, but Corey Graves was upset for going to NXT, and I remember talking last week about it, about him being with Vic and Booker, and I thought this was a great opportunity. I love Vic and Booker on commentary. I would love to see what Corey Graves could do here at NXT, and, you know, go get out of his comfort zone instead of being on the main roster, just taking this opportunity, because that's everything that I've ever learned about professional wrestling. You take what you can get and you make something out of it, you know? What's that saying, making chicken salad out of chicken shit or something like that, you know? So I thought it was an opportunity for Corey Graves to show what he can do, and he went on the Twitter or X, whatever you want to call it, and he came out and said this: imagine chasing your dream, then being told, in capital letters, not deciding that you're no longer physically able to pursue your dream. Then you dedicate your life to something dream adjacent and being pretty fucking awesome at it. And then when it's time to enjoy the fruits of your labor, being told you're not famous enough for your own job, just in case you've wondered where I've been. Wow. That's a lot to unpack there, you know. You talk about disgruntled employee. But no, you know, to be fair for Corey Graves, I did feel bad, but I was trying to look at the positive side of it. And we really don't know what goes on behind the scenes. You know, we see these things from the outside, and like everything, it's a corporation. And being somebody who works within a corporation, you know, I understand that there's moments where things are taken away from you, or you feel like you're being demoted, so you want to speak your mind. And I've learned in my time just having a job, especially in a corporation, you don't speak your mind out loud online. You know, I learned that a long time ago. I remember when I worked at Target for a season, they called it. You know, I was just a cart attendant. And one of the things that really I was blown away by was, like, they were like, hey, we have a team that watches social media like crazy. And if you say something bad about Target, you know, you will be fired. And that stuck with me forever. And I know WWE has more eyes than Target, because us as podcasters, us as people on social media, we're pulling these things. We're like, you know, I just read his damn tweet. But yeah, I do feel bad for Corey Graves. I do like Corey Graves. I don't know what's in store for him. Maybe they move him as a third commentator to SmackDown. I would love to see what he can do with Wade and Joe. You know, is he throwing a hissy fit? I don't think so. I just think he's just venting some frustrations of being like, hey, you know, I had a great partnership here with Michael Cole, and Pat McAfee comes in and I just get thrown to the side. And he vented his frustration, you know. And I get it. And I hope the best for Corey Graves, because I do like Corey Graves. I think he is great at the commentary table, and I think he's gotten better as time goes. But what do you think? Drop those comments below. Now let's get right into the show here. Oba Femi kicks it off. He's in that shirt. That shirt was fire. Doing the Oba walk. That's what I'm going to call it from now on. The Oba walk. That's how I'm going to walk into work. Oh. But he goes on. He gives Trick Williams his flowers and everything like that. And he buries Eddie Thorpe, who I still don't understand what we're doing here with Eddie. But then here comes Tony. Tony. Oh, yeah. The Don comes out holding that North American Championship, and he tells Oba, like, hey, man, you best be worried because I beat you for this. So I could come back when I could come for that championship when I want to and take it from you, Oba. And Oba's like, oh, yeah? And he goes, yeah, but the guy talking is the guy that was beat up by Santa Claus. And lo and behold, here comes Ridge Holland, and I'm loving heel Ridge. He has a picture of him in the Santa Claus suit beating up Tony from the for the holidays. And Tony's like, oh, yeah? Well, I'll sign it for you. He comes out, and they start brawling. And as Oba's in the ring, he gets attacked by Eddie. He has a strap, so I'm guessing we're hinting at a strap match with Oba, Femi, and Eddie. I hope Oba just destroys Eddie, and we can move on. That's all I want here. I'm not really digging the Eddie Thorpe thing. I think Eddie's cool, but I don't think he's championship material yet. You know, I think there's other people out there on the NXT roster that I would love to see Oba Femi go against. But I know that Oba's going to hold on to that championship for a very, very long time. Next up, we have Shotzi versus Stephanie. And I was very surprised by this, but, you know, building drama, building tension, you know, and I think Stephanie deserves the moon. So does Shotzi, so I can see why we went with Shotzi winning with JC and Fallon causing this outcome. But, you know, I want Stephanie to go after that North American Championship. I want her to have wins under her belt. You know, Julia skyrocketed straight to the top. She is now our champion, and they both came into NXT around the same time. So I'm wondering what's the purpose here, you know. And like I said, Shotzi getting the win, but building drama on top of that. So we can't always... Wins and losses should matter. And it comes down to Stephanie's beef now with Fallon Henley, you know, and JC. And it just, that's all it comes down to is just, let's build the drama. We cost you to lose the match. Now Stephanie's pissed. And I got to say, this was a fun match for what it was. And all the world to Shotzi. I'm glad she's back, too. Then we go into Ethan. Oh, my gosh, man. I'm loving the fact that he got away from AEW and he's making himself a star being in this heel role. You know, he went from grabbing that championship really fast, and then when he lost it, he went a little like, I'm sad, Ethan. But this whole, like, hurting people, I don't know why, but it's working. Like, I feel like, you know, he's getting the heat he needs. I feel like he's developing these stories, and he takes on Dante Chen, who's a big fan favorite, but Ethan beats him pretty quick. And he smashes his ankle with the steps, takes off his boot, and he has hurt another person. You know, he hurt Cedric, and then he hurt Javon, and here comes Javon. And I love the fact that Javon's fighting. You know, he's got the broken jaw and everything like that. You know, it's wired shut, and Ethan catches him just with that quick fist, and I love, smile for me, and I'm just like, oh my gosh, Ethan is going to the top. Like, oh my gosh, it's just, he just has that charisma and just evil, villainous, like, I don't know, it gave me goosebumps when he's like telling Javon, smile for me, smile, and I was like, oh, whew. Then we get a number one contendership match for the women's tag team championships. Who's going to face? Wait, who is the tag team champions? Oh, yeah, Bianca and Naomi. I had a blank there. I was like, no. Metaphor versus Unholy Union. I was like, where the hell have y'all been? But Metaphor gets the win here, and I was like, okay, cool. I want to see Metaphor go to the top. I do really like these two. But Unholy Union, I was like, damn, they brought him up quick. Gave him the tag team championships. They lost the tag team championships, and they just kind of just faded away. So we'll see what's happening there. And the women's tag team championships have always been up and down. They're considered a curse because they cause injuries and stuff like that. So we'll see. I would love for Metaphor to win those tag team championships off Bianca and Naomi. I think Bianca and Naomi doesn't need those tag team championships, just to be honest, because I believe they're stars on their own and they can go after singles championships and, you know, put together as a team. After Jade got hurt and got attacked, and we're going to see who attacked her, I just feel like they can drop these titles to Metaphor. And I think it'll be huge for Metaphor as a team to showcase that these two are on the verge of being superstars. So then we have Kalani versus Cora. I believe it was her birthday on this show when she got the win over Kalani Jordan. Happy birthday. I believe she turned 24. So Cora Jade getting the win over Kalani. I was like, okay, that was a good birthday present. Hell, a win is always a great birthday present on your birthday. So now we go into a tag team championship match. Nathan and Axiom versus OTM. I was never the biggest fan of OTM, but this was one hell of a match, and this is probably my match of the night. Nathan going to the top rope, baby, and going just a table spot and everything, and Axiom. Oh, these two just work so well together as a tag team. And them getting the win over ATM, I was like, man, OTM, sorry, not ATM. Like they're drawing money. Woo, did you see what I did there? OTM. And for those who don't know, it means out the mud. If you're not following along, just letting you know. But Nathan and Axiom hold on to those tag team championships, and DIY is there. And I was like, oh, I would love tag team versus tag team championships. Maybe title for titles. Titles for titles. Yeah, right? Yeah. So I would love that, but we shall see. But the little hint of DIY there, I was like, oh, after a banger of a match, folks. NXT's just so much fun. Then we ended with Roxanne and Bailey. And I heard, I saw on the Twitter or X, whatever we want to call it, that people are upset because during this segment, it was cut off before they even show the fight between these two. They're on the CW, and I've told people ever since they went to CW, I've been trying to watch it on the app. It's such a pain in the ass. I have a better time watching it on YouTube, the recaps and everything like that, and watching a bit of segments. Kind of makes me mad because I miss the in-between stuff, the stuff that's like there, the filler, but sometimes the filler is something. But, CW is just a pain in the ass, and I guess they just cut it off before Bailey. I didn't see this personally. I heard they cut it off right before Bailey said she was going to go to SmackDown and beat Tiffany Stratton for that championship, and then it cuts. So I hope that NXT moves to Netflix. And I'm very jealous of everybody outside of the United States that gets everything WWE on Netflix. I would love for everything just to be in one place, like the WWE Network, which I miss severely. I remember when they announced the WWE Network, I was so excited. I remember the day of launch, I was like, oh my God, all of WWE at the tip of my fingertips. I feel awesome, So, but yeah, Roxanne Bailey, I enjoyed this segment. Bailey's telling Roxanne, like, hey, we're bigger than this. This division's going to be fine. And Roxanne possibly moving up, Trick moving up to the main roster. I would love that. I would love to see Trick and, kind of, I would love a Mello and Trick moment. And Mello's like, yo, man, since we're up there together, dog, let's do it. He's like, yeah, nah. You keep catching L's up here, man. And I'll be like, damn. And Trick's like, I'm going to whoop that Trick. And you can just move on. Move on, buddy. So, but Roxanne and Bailey, they get into a big fight. And Bailey has a big championship match this Friday with Tiffany Stratton. I don't think she's going to win because I think Tiffany Stratton's championship reign is going to be very long. We wouldn't have made these moves if we wouldn't have these long title reigns. And I believe it's Tiffy time. As much as I love Bailey, it's Tiffy time. But that's NXT, January 14th, 2025. Vic Booker on commentary. I really enjoyed this show. I give it a 4 out of 5. And my match of the night is Nathan and Axiom versus OTM. Second to that, Shotzi versus Stephanie. And I'm excited to see where we're going to go with Stephanie. But we're cooking here. We're cooking. And Oba Femi as champ just feels so right. Oh. All right, y'all. Drop those comments below. Hit that like, hit that subscribe. Tell me what you think of the Corey Graves controversy. We'll just call it that, even though I really don't care for that word. What do you think of it? Do you think he's throwing a fit? Do you think it's justifiable by any means? So drop those comments below, okay? Then like and subscribe. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. And remember that the New World Podcast is for life, brother.
New NXT champion, over.